Hello, my name is Rakesh Jagwal and I am from Team Let's Learn. Today I am going to take the interview experience of Jyotirmoy Dutta, who has recently cleared his interview from Sims and going to join the college by next month, right?
Yeah.
So please bro, give me a brief introduction about yourself.
So, good morning, guys. Thank you for giving me this platform where I can share my interview experience, and it will help thousands of GME aspirants who are working hard to crack a sponsorship. So, my name is Jyotirmoy Dutta, and I'm currently 23 years old. I'm coming from a nuclear family. My father is a businessman, and my mother is a housemaker. And I'm a mechanical engineer passed out in 2022, and a GME aspirant whose dream was to pursue this career and to become a chief engineer one day. So I've completed my BTech in mechanical engineering from Asansol Engineering College, and in the final year I have secured 82.6 percentage, and my aggregate percentage in my BTech was 77.2 percentage. So today I'm going to share my interview experience, GME Sims interview experience. So can I start the
So Jyotirmoy
questions?
Dutta, please tell me what all are the questions you have faced during your interview and
Yeah.
how did you tackle them? So if you know the answer, please let me know about that too.
Okay. First I have to see the questions. Huh?
Yeah, no worries.
Uh, so my online exam was on 2nd August, and my interview was on 25th August. So the first coming with the basic question that they have asked me about the general introduction. So they asked me about my family, what my father do, what my mother do I have any siblings or not. So after the general introduction part, the first non-technical question was the president and the vice president of our country. So I replied that, sir, the current president of our country is Srimati Draupadi. President of our country is Sri Jagdeep Dhankar. And the second question was the neighboring countries of India. So I've replied. So the neighboring countries are Nepal, Bangladesh, then Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bhutan, Myanmar, China. So I've mentioned all the neighboring countries surrounding India. Then they asked my height in centimeter. So I've replied that my height in centimeter is 177 centimeter. So they asked me that what will be your height in kilometers. So I've replied, so it will be 0.177 kilometers. So they asked me about the
0.177
0.177
kilometer.
kilometer.
So okay, you have to check it out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so so they have asked me about the conversion, about the inch to centimeter, feet to centimeter, then inches to feet, feet to inches. For the question inch to centimeter, I replied that 1 inch equals to 2.54 centimeter. Then they have asked me about the feet to centimeter. So I mentioned that 1 feet equals to 30.48 centimeters. Then they have asked me about feet to inches. So I've replied that's 1 feet equals to 12 inches. Then they asked me about the chief of ISRO, current chief of ISRO. So I've told them, so the current chief of ISRO is S. Somnath. So that's all about the non-technical questions. And then coming with the technical question. So the first technical question that they have asked me is what is kinetic energy and what is potential energy. So I've simply replied that, so the kinetic energy is the energy of an object or a system particles in a motion, and the potential energy is the stored energy in any object or system by the virtue of its motion. So then they asked me about the Pascal's law. What is Pascal's law? So I've told them, sir, according to the Pascal's law, it states that in a confined space, if pressure is applied to incompressible fluid, then it is transmitted equally in all directions. Then they asked me about the working of the centrifugal pump. So I've briefly explained all the working of the centrifugal pump. Like I've mentioned that if we talk about the working of a centrifugal pump, then the first step is priming. As we know that the centrifugal pumps are not self-priming pumps, so priming becomes a very important part in a centrifugal pump. As we know that the fundamental concept of pumping a liquid is that liquids are incompressible. So if the force is imparted on the liquid, then the liquid moves on the direction of the force applied. But in case of liquid, if air is present inside the centrifugal pump and a force is applied, then the air will get compressed, and the pressure and the temperature inside the pump will increase, and the pump will run dry. So we have to first do the priming. For priming, a priming funnel is fitted or mounted at the top of the centrifugal pump, through which the liquid is inserted through the centrifugal pump. As the liquid enters into the centrifugal pump into the casing, it pushes out the air from the discharge valve. Then we close the discharge valve, and the electric motor is turned on. So as the electric motor is turned on, the shaft is coupled with the electric motor. So as the electric motor rotates, it rotates the shaft. The impeller, which consists of curved backward vanes, is connected with the impeller. So as the impeller rotates, it also rotates the impeller vanes. So as the impeller vanes rotates, so it produces a centrifugal force on the liquid present inside the centrifugal pump, and as it produces the centrifugal force, the kinetic energy and the velocity of the liquid inside the pump increases. And as we know, the total energy should be conserved. The kinetic energy plus potential energy plus pressure energy is equals to constant according to the conservation of energy. So if the kinetic energy is increasing and the potential energy is constant, the pressure energy will decrease, and that's how a suction is created inside the centrifugal pump. As we know that the liquid is maintained at the liquid in the sump is maintained at the standard atmospheric pressure, and we know the liquid generally flows from higher pressure to lower pressure. So as the suction pressure is created, the liquid will now flow from the sump to the centrifugal pump through the impeller eye. So it's first passed through the suction pipe, and it will pass through the filter and the food valve. So in the filter, all the dirt particles get filtered out from the water or the liquid, and then it passes through the food valve. So food valve is a one-way directional valve, so it only opens in the upward direction. So as the liquid enters into the centrifugal pump through the impeller eye, then I have briefly explained all the working and the path of the centrifugal pump.
So this
So
was a
after
very
explaining,
long explanation you gave to him. He was really
yeah,
surprised and impressed by your explanation, I guess.
yeah, I have mentioned all the important things about the priming, about the
Yeah,
different parts, and the coupling, and all those
yeah, that's a very great
cavitation. I've also
explanation.
mentioned the cavitation part. So I've mentioned all the cavitation, different parts of the centrifugal pump. So I thought he's very much impressed about my answer.
Yes.
Then after the working of the centrifugal pump and the cavitation and the priming part, two more technical questions were asked. Number one is the carbon content in the cast iron. I simply replied that the carbon content in the cast iron is around 1.7 to 4.5%. And they asked me about the
1.7,
different types of steel.
like
So
what it is?
that's all about the questions.
What is the carbon percentage?
1.7 to 4.5%. So it varies from 1.7 to
Okay, okay, okay,
4.5%.
okay. So what was the last question?
So last question was state the different types of steel. So that was the last question, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So like it was a very technical and non-technical, both are like in a same manner, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was there were seven non-technical questions and few technical questions.
Okay. So like what is the your preparation strategy during your like written part? So
Yeah,
did
my
you go through some websites or just buy the books or
Yeah, for the online exam, I just prepared from RS Kurmi, all the 6,000 plus MCQ that they have,
okay,
and from a normal online website was Exam Veda. So I complete all the MCQ questions from there, and most of the questions were coming from that Exam Veda only.
okay. So when did you pass out from your college?
I passed out in 2022.
So what you are doing from that period?
So from 2022, an interesting story was there. I got an opportunity to join a IT sector, but my family was mainly concerned about government jobs. So
Okay,
as coming from a middle class family, the government job thing is there, and I was preparing for the government jobs. I also given the GATE exam, but I couldn't secure a good rank. Then I'm also a member of an NGO, so there I got the opportunity to meet a third engineer who's there in the merchant navy, working in the merchant navy. So then he mentioned about the GME course and about the merchant navy. Then I studied. I contact Praneeth sir. Then he told me to buy the Dreamers package, and that's how I came to
okay.
know about the field, and I prepared myself.
So is this your first time you gave your interview, or
Yeah, this is completely my first time I'm giving the interview.
so that's a very good thing. You cracked your interview in a very first attempt, right?
Yeah, thank you. I've also cleared the IMS Go online exam, but I couldn't go for the interview because my father condition was very critical at that time. So I couldn't leave my father of my family that time,
Okay, okay,
and so that's the thing.
okay, okay.
But luckily, I got selected in the SIMS interview, and hopefully, I will join the college
So
next month.
you are joining the college by next month, right?
Next month, 2nd October is the reporting time there.
Okay, great, great. So, Jyotirmoy, this is a very great interview experience with you. I wish you a very best of luck for your future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.